effect for Charlie. Forward and draw the sword. Forward.
Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War 2 with this Scottish campaign. The year is now 1714, the winter of 1714. Last time around we managed to capture Hindustan after a battle just outside the town. I wasn't too happy with the episode, not that I didn't achieve something good, but I kept saying, after everything. I don't know if it's the summer heat that gets to me. But I wasn't too happy about that part. Another thing that I'm not too happy about is the Marhathans. I just said again. I was gonna make a specific effort not to say it, and it immediately went wrong. Anyways, oh my god. Anyways. They went ahead and captured this while I moved north, so perhaps I should have had Finlay MacGregor move through here to attack this province rather than join us up here. However, if I wouldn't have sent him up here, it wouldn't have been an out-assault, and I would have to fight another battle that was kind of unnecessary, wasn't it? Because the enemy didn't draw up really any good troops in defense of their capital. Anyways, since then, the Marhathas, of course, have captured this, but I've also sent my spies out to figure out what's going on in the other provinces. And let's see, so we got one spy here. He's clearly seen that there's nothing here. Also, my fleet has left this port. The reason why was because the Marhathans actually sent troops to occupy the port, forcing the Mughal Empire Navy out into the sea where I sunk it. So that's why. However, I'm a little bit worried here where the full stack of this area went, because I'm hoping it's not going north to kind of protect there. I'm hoping. Okay, so I found it.
No one will know.
I was worried there that perhaps it had gone north, because right now, for the second capital, it is completely unprotected, so I can just march in there. However, I'm more interested in capturing as much as possible, and I fear that capturing this as a capital province will then incur just as much of resistance to foreign occupation as Hindustan. So I'm actually gonna first bypass it and go to the Kashmir region and attack that and take that over first. And this is a special province, and I'm pretty sure I'll be able to recruit my own Gurkhas while taking this province, which should be good. Currently, even with the full army that I have and exempting the region from tax, the province is very, very unhappy. Although, with that said, my army is now fully recovered. I haven't made a change yet. I think the Highlanders, I think I said it as well last episode, that I'd keep the Highlanders in the form as they are right now. And looking back at the what's it called? The replay. I did notice that they did perform actually rather well. It was just that they do not do very well against cavalry. With that said, I feel like I've already here, while I was trying to make an effort not to go I've already sort of caught myself doing it like 5 times. Anyways, and there's the 6th. Well, it's a struggle, and eventually, I'm sure I will lower it to an acceptable level. With that said, there's no more moves to make, so let's go ahead and end turn. Agent Recruiter, Fraser Campbell, smug bastard, recruited here. Oh, shouldn't have said that. It's a gentleman. Although his skill is with the blade. Now I understand why he's smirking. We've got one guy over here, and we've got one guy over there. Trenchman and carpeting loon. Oh yeah, and this guy. That'll be perfect. The smug. I feel like he's a womanizer, even though by today's standard, it certainly doesn't look it. Compared to this sort of hippie-looking guy with his flowing hair, and he's got no sense of shame. We've got a lot of different buildings being built all over the Empire. I'm gonna go ahead and continue this. Wait, actually. No, it doesn't start to incur unhappiness, which is good. And then we have a port. Level 2, and then there. Very nice. And with that, I'll be able to march up and strike. And they've yet to recruit anything in their capital province. The surrender was accepted, and the province falls to me without a fight. Cultural unrest is really high. It's probably the worst we've ever seen. 16 points. So that kinda gets me stuck up there. But now the Kashmir region is mine, and I can recruit Gurkhas of my own. 10 melee attack, 6 charge, 16 melee defense. How does that compare to my own melee warriors? Let's see. Highlanders. Higher melee defense for sure, 2 points higher. However, the attack and charge bonus is higher for the Highlander. And the morale is higher. There's perhaps more troops in this unit, 280 in this. There is 200 in the Highlander unit. So in that sense they weigh up with being almost 1/3 larger. Right. But the problem now is I'm kind of stuck here in these two areas without the ability to move. Now, would I change this? Could I still recruit the Gurkhas if I made it a governor's residence? Or is it just for the military barracks? Afghan, East India, Gurkhas. Right, I think it's just for the military barracks. It might be worth it just for the fact of having a specialty unit. I'll go ahead and infiltrate the capital. The growth is going down. But otherwise, I was hoping perhaps they would be hit with bankruptcy because they're losing so much. But clearly that's not the case. The thing is though, since we're kind of stuck here, we need to free up a third army. And we do have a third army. Also, yes, I have troops on the way. I forgot about those. So here's the newly recruited troops. We've got 4 units of Royal Guard Cavalry. And then 4 units of Highland Cavalry. We got 2 units of Scottish Hussars. And then we've got 8 units of Infantry Regiment Grenadiers. And these are going to be sent with the newly recruited Indiaman trade ships, which I probably should have recruited earlier. But now I have those ships all over. There's a what's it called? There's a limit of 20 of these ships. However, the upside to them is they trade really well, and they only have an upkeep of 44. And I've sent them out to different trade nodes, and yes, which at this point it's kind of which is worse, me saying what I'm thinking, or me talking about the price of spice. The price of spice has almost doubled. Why is that? Well, the 13 colonies ended, and so did their trade hold on spices from the East Indies. I've taken over it, and as you can see, the price have risen quite a bit. While, since I've sent new ships to trade in slavery, slaves have actually dropped in price. As well as sugar has also dropped. The current highest price is now tobacco. Cotton has also fallen a bit due to just the sheer amount or the volume of goods that are available to the public, or to anyone who wants to buy them, I should say. So we're gonna send these over there, and then we need to free up the Third Army. The Third Army is nowhere close to a 40 stack, but also it's kind of it's a little bit old, isn't it, at this point? But I'm thinking here that if I send this together with the new troops, then they will form a full stack, and they will land then on the other coast here and start claiming territory on this side. Now, I don't want to face the 40 stack, which is actually reopen the port, although I don't think they're gonna be able to repair it. It doesn't seem like they're able to repair it. So I'm thinking I'm gonna land further to the north. Not that this is a huge profitable province for my enemy, but I want to capture it. So then I would hold a lot of provinces, and I would be able to strike then. I think the one that will march first is Finley MacGregor, which will come down and take Lahore. And then next up would be the one in Hindustan, probably. Or perhaps this one, actually, because this one would suffer the least amount of resistance to occupation. I did notice that there's a lot of Sikhs here. I wonder if we can recruit special troops here instead. Anyways, let's go ahead and fight the pirates. Also, with the loss of the 13 colonies, France has moved on. Instead of fighting the 13 colonies, they are now fighting in Europe, and they're fighting the Pope in Genoa. On the seas, I've noticed that the Pope's navy is beating them, but on land, I'm not entirely sure. Genoa still stands, but it might be too early to say anything about it. So here's the pirate force. It's been starving out here on this island for quite a bit. So there's only 2,200 men left of Dirk Spiggings and his army compared to Kirk. It's Kirk versus Dirk. I just realized. Kirk versus Dirk. That's gonna go ahead and fight here over the coffee plantation. With that said, let's go ahead and blow away some coffee beans, shall we? And so we have arrived on the battlefield. No coffee plantation to be sighted. However, I did sight that the pirates were clumping all these troops together. Somehow we managed to miss them, though, by firing over here. I have drawn out the lines, as we can see. So I've made the musketry lines as long as possible. I'm gonna move out the what's it called? The pikes. And then the supporting cavalry on either side, and prepare. And then of course we have the Highland warbands ready to back up behind here. Oh, are they charging? What are they doing? Hold fire until they get closer. Also, at this point I think the cannons should switch to canister. Fire. And then you form square. Square. You were not able to fire. Doesn't matter though, as much. Pretty sure we'll be able to hold. And then we have similar charge on this side, but here my troops managed to fire. The thin line of musketeers are probably not going to hold. But oh, there's my Scottish Lancers not doing too well. I'm gonna place my pike unit right behind. Let's see. I need to detail where this canister is fired for optimal destruction for the enemy. Okay, my Lancers, or one of them, were broken. I'm gonna get my warband out here. However, these units managed to win their fight. I'm surprised we haven't won on this side, because I've got stronger cavalry on that side. Oh, where? It looks like it's great hits, and judging by the amount of dead pirates... Oh, and here comes the Lancers back with a fury. And what it looks like is the center for the pirates is crumbling. To the point where the units that the warbands that I sent out here, never even really got a chance to deploy properly. Let's have the Lancers continue forward. Make sure that the cannons are not firing it well. I'm surprised the Pirate Raider cavalry has held out so long against the troops on this side, where everyone else kind of crumbled right away. Let's see about organizing these troops. Wrong, this one. Right, organize yourself. The rest of the pirates are kind of sitting ducks. I want to do sort of, what's it called? The Waterloo movie. I want to roll up the cannons right up to their face and then blow them apart. The Lancers riding through this completely just throw the cannons all over the place. Silly bastards. Right, get rid of these stupid pirates, so that I can then advance on the last units there. Let's see. I won't be able to bring all 5 batteries. I will bring 4 batteries. As soon as they're ready to move. Oh, is it broke? Did it break? Damn. That I do not like. Right, then this will be surrounded instead by the cavalry. I invite you to surrender! Clearly they did not listen, and I was unable to set up properly, so I'm just gonna have to charge them from all sides. I was hoping, it looked for a bit like it was gonna work. That they were going to hold their position. The ones I got within shooting range of their pistols, and my own pistols for that matter, they started firing and moved out of their formation, as we can see right here. Or no, at this point we probably can't see it, and now they're all getting slaughtered. With that, I'm ordering all the cavalry to continue on and get John Smith. that bloody John Smith the pedophile. And there we go, the pirates are done for. I just noticed one of my lances gone. I didn't even... We did well in the battle. How did one of the lances die in all of this? That's crazy. It must have been the chargers that came down afterwards. Covenant Dragoon killed the most. Surprise, surprise. Lost the most is Highland Warrior. Most remaining is Pikemen. And most experienced is Highland Warriors. Scottish Lancers. Lost. Scottish Lancers would be up here. 75, remaining at 25. So if they lose beyond 25%, then they're gone. Oh, the pirate force still remains? Oh! Dirk Spiglitz still lives, the bastard. He's got one guy left. Well, now they're gone. We'll go ahead and reorganize this army. I'm gonna pick them up on these ships and send them to India. And then repair the coffee shop. You need that coffee rolling off. 28. It's actually pretty good compared to... should perhaps relocate, or perhaps not relocate, but I'm looking at some of the ships trading in slaves, and I'm noting it's a high upkeep cost, and I wonder if removing these, obviously it's going to reduce the amount, but it's also going to increase the price. But I wonder if it actually matters that much, the price difference at that range. Probably a way of calculating what would be the optimal amount to sell before you sort of start running a deficit, or it starts not to be as profitable. I think though that ships costing 100 compared to 44, it's probably better to have the 44. Anyways, let's go ahead and end turn and hope that I get my troops in order into India before the Mahathans can seize any more land. Successful mission! So my spies, all three of them, successful missions. Strength gained, no sense of shame. Is there anyone who has a sense of shame in my kingdom? I got a new doctor, Ross Bristed. He's got a 4-star and a doctorate. Pretty good. compared to everyone else, the sloths that I have. We have 2 fleets arriving, so the 2 fleets arrive at the same time. We got the new army, which is arriving, and we got the old army. Let's go ahead and land both of them right here. I've moved the spy away, but they have nothing to protect this province, I said. As they actually did have some units. They must have gone those units there. Because I was there last turn. Also, I should say, this is the winter of 1715. I did 2 turns or so in between here. The trade ships should be heading to trade in... Spice is down to 22 now. Sugar or... sugar is better than slaves right now. So they will be heading to Brazil. Right. But these forces won't be standing against Kirk, who just fought the pirates. And he'll be able to sweep in and claim this, which will greatly reduce the... well, not actually, but it will cut off this corner of the Mughal Empire, which is slowly coming to an end. I just sent a spy over to check on the war between France and the Genoese, and it looks like Genoa is not long for this world. The French have gathered quite a bit of troops to deal with Genoa, which doesn't bring a lot. They do have a powerful navy though, but that's not going to help them when France got a pretty strong army. After that, they'll be able to continue on and attack the Pope. We have deposit built in England and a weaver's cottage being built in India. Right, let's go ahead and take the troops which are newly landed. Go ahead and start the siege. We're gonna bring in the new troops to make sure that we've got full control of this. This is heavily in our favor. 5,000 men against 2,000, most of which are militia and peasantry. I'm gonna go ahead and out-resolve that. We lost 629, the enemy lost their entire force. And so we claim this province. We're gonna go ahead and replenish these troops. When voila, this province is ours. It's quite a neglected province, only doing farming. However, now when I've taken over it, it looks like they're gonna spawn this town within 8 turns. They have great infrastructure though, because they've built out the roads quite well. Let's go ahead and send the ships to Brazil, and then these 2 full riggers. I don't know. Kind of old crappy ships. Where's my battle fleet? There it is. The battle fleet should actually go ahead and seize the Mughals' trade fleet, which is in this coast right here. It actually holds 2 ports now. This one is 4,000. That's a rather large force. I wonder if I wouldn't need more ships to fight them. Even if it is like brigs and stuff. They're just by the sheer number of enemy ships. Currently, I'm making 16,000 per turn. That's plenty enough money to add some more ships. With some pretty darn... Oh, 90 gun ships? Is that new? I think it is. We need 3 of those before we add the 74 gun ships. Now we got 90. 3 of those should definitely go ahead and deal quite a bit of damage to the enemy. Bomb catch. I wonder if those... they take 1 turn to recruit? Maybe for funsies, just putting a few of those in my fleet to see what kind of damage they can cause. Very little upkeep cost, and they're probably very inaccurate though. We'll see. So we'll be going after them, and now we've seized so many provinces. It's just making sure that we can march on from this one down to this one. So currently it's -7, -6 if I exempt them from tax. It does have this barracks. Do we have a unit that can that is good at what's it called? A garrison bonus. Garrison policing bonus by the geomanry. Which... but they take 2 turns to recruit. And I would need then... if they give 1 point, then I would need like 6 of them. If they give like half a point, how many points do they give? Oh, this entire army currently is adding 14 points, and there's clearly more than 14 troops. However, I guess cannon doesn't give bonus, and perhaps some of the cavalry. I don't know what. 14 points seems a little bit little for an army that is almost like 30 units, or probably more. I guess yeomanry, since they get a policing bonus, 4 of them, and I could be able to march on to attack their capital, and then they would be left with these 2 provinces that I should hopefully be able to seize before the Mahathans. But as it is right now, I have no more moves to make, so let's go ahead and end turn, see if the enemy comes up with anything. Otherwise, we will be preparing for combining these forces, and then also the naval battle to clear out all the slave trade that the Mughal Empire is doing. Workers on strike. Agent detected. This agent, or enemy agent, was detected. No, our detected. He wasn't kicked out though. Ross, another one with no sense of shame. Wait, Ross. Wait. Is that? No, it wasn't this Ross. It's another Ross. This Ross. There's 2 Rosses. There's a lot of Rossing going on in Dundee. Everyone knows a good Rossing in Dundee. How? Like, everyone has no sense of shame. Or at least 2, which is not a lot, but still weird that they have it twice. This force has moved out, leaving it open for the Mahathans to take it, while my force will be faced with them. God damn it. The question is, do they dare face me at the bridge? I will leave to control the bridge. The only other way to cross is the river crossing up there. So I should be fine. The thing though is, at this point... oh, there's units infiltrating this province. I do now have plenty of cavalry in this army. So I'll just take all of that cavalry. I thought I had more. Only 2 units of company cavalry. And I go out and destroy all of these. We lost 700 men, which is kind of a lot, given the enemy was only deploying 600. However, we killed all the raiders, which is the important part. They were not allowed to raid any structures here. Perhaps instead of yeomanry, I could have recruited some units that would have taken 1 turn. instead of 2, so I could have just swarmed that and attacked them, their capital sooner. They're bringing up some troops to defend it, but there's not a lot. I'm more worried about not being able to capture this than anything else, really. Also, this navy should probably meet up with the new one in Europe and then be heading to deal with Marhathans. The thing is, though, the Marhathans might be gone by that point, because, I mean, at this point they might only have one province soon enough, as this one's about to fall and this one could very well fall pretty darn soon. I do not dare to end turn, though, because we might end up with this very large battle. I'm hoping it's at the river crossing, because that would be wonderful. But I think that that is enough for this episode. So what I will do is I will do like I always do and tell you that hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.